Malphite top lane versus a Ryze. I have Nasus in the jungle versus a Nautilus. I have Orianna in mid lane versus a Karthus. And Ezreal Leona bot lane versus a Twitch Blitzcrank. So let's jump in and see how this goes. This is a game with my ranked team, in which I'm playing top lane for. And we picked a heavy engaged type of comp. So we went with the Malphite and the Orianna because the combination is very strong, and then the Nasus for the sort of rush in, start off the fight, get them to clump up sort of thing, and Leona for the additional effect in that team fight, and Ezreal for the cleanup, and also for the safety because of their picks. Right, so they probably picked the Ryze into me because I picked Malphite early on because we wanted the Malphite. And they picked Ryze to get rid of, to try and like counter my lane, because AP is supposed to be good against Malphite, because naturally in a lane I'd want to build armor because armor makes me more powerful. But I'm fine with this and I'm not too bothered, because as long as I don't get bullied out of lane too much, I'm just gonna sit here and farm anyway. Because being Malphite, I'm incredibly beefy, tanky, and just in general irritating, and I'll always have an impact later. But anyway, Nasus comes up for a gank here, and I sort of go in, probably a bit too early, and we get a bit of harass. Cost me a lot of mana though, and I just go back to farming. Ryze is back to being a bit safe. We both got very similar starts though. We both started with a Fairy Charm with wards and pots. For the safety's sake, and also because I'm going to build Chalice, and he's naturally going to build a Tear of the Goddess. So, that's fine, I'm not too fussed, because it's Ryze, he's always going to build the Tear of the Goddess. I wouldn't naturally always build a Chalice, but because I'm against an AP, and because he's ranged and all that, I kind of want to have a bit of mana regen, and the magic resist will be effective in the lane as well. Because as Malphite, just because I'm Malphite, doesn't mean I have to build armor. I can build pretty tanky with MR as well and still be threatening. So I'm sensing a gank any second now. So I'm thinking ward, and there we go. Voila, Nautilus appears. So I'm backing off. I don't want to be anywhere near him. Keep my distance. Wait a few seconds, and he's gone. So I come back in for the XPs, and hopefully to try and continue to bully the Ryze a bit. So now I'm being a bit more cautious because I know Nautilus is nearby. There we go, here he comes again. So I back off, and then I come back in for the XP. At this point I'm a bit irritated because I'm losing out on XP. Nautilus is coming in again. Okay, I understand, Nautilus, you want to gank me, but just leave me alone, please. I just want you to leave my lane alone. I want XPs and I want monies. So, sadly my lane keeps pushing up, which is probably not good for me in this current environment. Because to be honest, even with my ward, I don't feel completely safe from Nautilus, and if he's really persistent on his ganks, eventually he's going to get in. Because Ryze is going to eventually get into range, snare me, and all that malarkey, and I'm going to be getting poo street. So, he turns 6 first, and I'm just trying to get 6 as quickly as possible. Here we go. And now I'm just waiting for that opportunity when I've got enough mana to go on top of him, because my burst is quite high. But in the end, I decide to farm. Karthus comes in from them, and I'm like, ow, pain. And then Twitch gets a little bit fed at this point. A little bit irritating, and probably not good for us, or healthy at all. But anyway, Nautilus comes in, I'm like, throw my shard, I get snared, yep, boom, he flashes, one sec, yep, and I die. Now, what I really should have done was waited until they came in the bush, then threw my shard, and that way I would have gained the speed boost without giving them vision of me in the bush. And then, as soon as I sharded, I should have flashed, because I knew that Nautilus's anchor was on cooldown, so there was no way he was going to stop me, and the only reason the Ryze got the snare was because he suddenly got enough mana to snare me. So that was my bad. But anyway, so I go on him at this point and deal a bit of damage. I'm not too fussed, and now he's starting to hurt me because he's got all this mana regen and just he hurts because of mana scaling. So he's now just slowly whittling me down, and I'm playing it badly by going on him a little bit too much. So now with my chalice, I'm just going to sit back, and any farm that I can't get near to because of him, I'm just going to throw him a shard at and wait patiently for him to push the lane. Eventually he will, but currently he's not wanting to, and perfectly understandable. So I'm just going to wait, and eventually his minion wave is pushing for me, which I'm very thankful for, and I start farming under the tower. Team's trying to focus on the other lanes on my jungle at any rate, which is fine, and I'm not too bothered about that. I can survive this lane, and as long as Nautilus doesn't camp me too much, I'll just survive it with just losing a bit of farm, which is fine because in Malphite I will always have an impact over the game. That is one of the main strengths, along with the fact that his ultimate is just so sudden, so powerful, and his scalings might not be the best, but his base damages are ridiculous. So now I'm thinking, right, time to back. So I go back, get myself a giant spell, get some pots. Now, giant spell necessarily is not going to stop Ryze from killing me. It's just going to keep me alive in lane and make me a bit tankier because of the way the passive works. Because the passive gives me 10% of my maximum health as a shield until it's broken, in which case I have to wait a few seconds for it to regenerate. So building health makes that shield stronger, which means that theoretically at this point it should just about be able to shield me of a single Ryze Q, which it does just about. So that's great. So I go on him at this point because I really want to punish him and get him out of this lane now, because it's only going to hurt me and cause me more trouble if he stays. So now he's a bit scared because he doesn't want to be near me, and he doesn't want to go too deep on this lane because he knows that in the right situation I would just kill him. So now I'm just going to push the lane up as fast as I can now that I know that he's gone back. Smacky smack, Nautilus comes, and I'm like, okay, time to back. So I back off, I get myself a new magic mantle and some more pots, and I come back to top lane. I should have bought myself a ward, but that was my mistake. So he goes up to ward, I tell my team he's gone off the ward, and I just push the lane up as much as possible, then realise that Ryze is missing, so he's clearly gone down here. So I'm coming down, my ult's nearly up, and I'm going to be here just in case I'm needed. Ryze is coming over here. I don't want to go signify that I'm here too much, and then I see the opportunity. Two of them piled up, bang! Straight on top of me. Team comes in, and we go really deep, kill the Ryze, and I biff onto the car first and kill him, and then Blitzcrank is left all on his own. Even with the tower, we feel that we can just about dive him. I decide probably best just stay off the edge, tank the tower a bit, and then the team continues to chase down, kills the Blitz. There's Twitch, and I come around to help with the Twitch. Twitch kills one of us, go off Twitch, and then Nautilus. With three of us here, even on this low life, we feel that we can go on him because we're all much higher levels than him. And then he goes in onto Nasus, and we decide best if we just back off. We got what we wanted. We got 4 kills compared to their 2, which is an amazing trade considering we were behind and because of Twitch. Main reason that it worked for us was because I caught out 2 of them with my ult, and then we just blew them up, and their Twitch wasn't actually there, so their main fed member wasn't there to help them. He wasn't doing any damage during that, and I was there doing what Malphite does best: bully people, just generally being irritating and being that great one. So I go on Ryze here as much as I can, biff, goes into the tower. I'm like, fine, okay, I'm not going to die here, there's no point. I've punished you, I've got you out of this lane. That's enough for me, because as it is, I need to catch up. So I start biffing on the tower a bit here, put some pressure, and Karthus TPs. Great, got a TP out of him for nothing pretty much. I go back now, and I buy myself a ward, and I wait for a bit of money, wait, and I get myself a Negatron Cloak. Negatron Cloak is for a Spirit Visage, not because it's like amazing on Malphite, but because it is actually very effective, I feel. Not because of the health regen bonuses, but because it gives him health, it gives him magic resist, and generally it is actually a ridiculous item for stats. And because I'm going to build some form of regen, it makes sense to build it. And because I'm against a double AP, and a Nautilus does AP as well, I might as well go for magic resist and health, and that way I can tank up that bit more in these fights, especially early on, because a lot of their damage is going to be AP at first, because we're going to aim to blow up Twitch. Twitch should not survive very long in the fight if we play it right. So I'm going to sit back here, I'm going to wait for him to push, because he is starting to bully me a bit, and I don't really want to go on him. And I'm scared that at this point actually that I might get dived. They might come around behind me at the blue buff. So I'm trying to keep my distance, but I don't want to leave the tower unprotected, because if I play it right, I should be fine with the tower anyway. And then Rise goes on me a bit, and I take a bit of damage. I'm not too fussed. And then I keep throwing shards at him, and then he does some damage to me under the tower. I'm a bit scared, I don't want to go too far up. I'm waiting for the shield. There we go, shields up. And bang, straight on top of him. Oriana ult, bang. Nice quick kill on the Rise, and I'm going to push up as much as I can. Now that Rise is dead, and Ori comes on to help us with this, but we lose Dragon because of it, or at least, yeah, we lost Dragon because of it. That's not huge, big deal, but it's most certainly not a good thing for us. But we got a tower, and we got a kill. We lost the kill. So overall, semi-even trade, but we got a tower, and the tower is actually more important than the dragon, because naturally we gain more map control now, more vision, and it's a little bit easier for us. So we catch up the Blitzcrank here, go chasing down on him as much as we can, and then Nautilus comes along, and then we're wanting to back off because we know that Carthus is there, we don't know where Twitch is, so we want to keep our distance. Nasus gets grabbed, and then boom, kills off the Blitzcrank. Okay, cool. So now, with that advantage of them being down a member, we push up. I'm waiting for that perfect opportunity to go diving in there. There we go. Boom. My ult, Oriana ult, Iona ult, smash, and I decided to go chasing down the Twitch itch, and then Oriana comes with me. Boom. Nice, quick, clean kill, and then we go for the tower. Nice, quick, clean, 4 kills, and no, in fact it was only 3 because Rise was up top, and then we go off to continue pushing. Rise is getting our top tower, fine, we get 2 towers, and we get a total of 3 kills from that, but 4 if you pass the Blitzcrank kill from beforehand. So we go for the inhibitor, Oriana distracts a bit, and then we back off as quickly as we possibly can. Because we don't, at this point, we do not want to risk losing out to the Baron Rush. And in the end, actually, instead of going for the Spirit Visage, I decided to go for an Abyssal Scepter for the damage, because I'm actually doing a lot in these fights. And then we have a little fight here. We're just waiting for them getting them to waste stuff, basically. And then they back off. They know they cannot fight this. So we're like, ooh, 3 barrels, because they'd already half-elfed it for us. We're not really missing a lot, but then maybe a bit of Nasus' fight. And then I do this, flash over, kill off the Rise, and then bam! Blitzcrank, clean up. Nice, quick, clean kills. Nautilus is still alive, we see the perfect opportunity, so we rush over to the Nexus as quickly as we can, and we won because of a good use of ults, good use of team fights, and generally just team fighting better than them. They will split up, and when they weren't split up, they were bunching up in such a way that my ult was just doing too much. And although their double AP strat would have worked, it backfired on them a bit because of They didn't shut me down. They needed to get rid of me in lane because my ult was just blowing them up. It didn't matter that Twitch was getting fed because I was so effective along with an Orianna rule that we just went steamrolling past their entire team, killed the Twitch, and cleaned up. So overall, I think this game was a good example of Malphite's strength, and I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. You can also follow me and like me on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you for watching.